Okay guys, so we're back out here with the motorcycle. And if you saw my previous video, we just picked this up. It is a 2021 Kawasaki Ninja 400. This is the ABS model. I was trying to get something that was non-ABS just because I didn't want it to be too intrusive, but honestly, after owning it we've had it for about 2 weeks now, honestly can't even tell it's an ABS bike. I was worried that it was going to be too intrusive for the aggressive riding style that I have. But we are in the break-in phase, so we are still taking it very easy on it. So that might be something as well. But so far, so good. I cannot even notice it has ABS. And honestly, guys, it's probably better for the majority of riders. You probably would want ABS. But being that I used to ride a 1000, I'm used to riding a little bit more aggressive. But so far, the ABS hasn't been a problem for me. It hasn't been too intrusive whatsoever. In the past 2 weeks, we've been riding it probably every other day now. The weather hasn't been super great, but it's been okay enough. We put about 295 miles on it, so we're about halfway through our break-in period. The break-in mileage is supposed to be the first 600 miles. You take it easy, and it has stages, 150 miles, 250 miles, all that stuff. Then once you get to your 600 mile, you do your first service, and then after that, pretty much you can hit top speed if you want. But we're taking it easy for now. The only downside I could see to this motorcycle, and I'm not sure how these smaller engines run, but for me, it revs a little bit high for highway speeds. So cruising down the highway, it's sitting about 6,500 RPM. I'm not sure if that's too high or not. I don't know. On my 1000, I used to run about 4,500 RPM. But obviously that was a much bigger engine. Now this engine does rev out to 15,000 RPM, so it's not like we're sitting on red line or anything. But that's just something to keep in mind, keep in consideration. I don't think it's going to be an issue. It's just something I got to get used to. Because even at 6,500 RPM, we're still getting about 60 miles to the gallon. So I don't know if that's going to change once we start riding a little bit more aggressive after the break-in period. I don't know. More than likely, it's probably going to drop down. But so far, so good. Anything above 50 miles to the gallon is good. I predict it's going to stay around 55 to 60. We are going to ride a little bit more aggressive, but for now, we are averaging about 60 miles to the gallon. And we are running premium fuel in this. Now, according to the owner's manual, you can run just regular 87 unleaded. But for the break-in period, I think we're just going to run premium only on this. That way it has good fuel in it. Everything's good. It gets a proper, nice, easy break-in. And then once we hit the first 600-mile interval, we'll go ahead and get its first service done. And then we could have some fun with it. We could rip on it a little bit more and use it for what it was intended to be used for. But so far, so good, guys. I really like this motorcycle. Very nimble and very affordable as well. One thing I did want to go over with you guys, I picked this thing up for $5,400 sticker price. And then after tax, title, and license, drive-up price was $6,621. So right at where I thought it was going to be. I was guessing it was going to be $6,800 out the door. Came out to $6,600. We picked this up from Woods Cycle Country out in New Braunfels, Texas. And it's about an hour drive from my house. So it's not like it's close or anything. But I'd rather drive an hour to go to a good, honest dealership who I know is not going to overcharge me like some other dealerships. Not throwing shade at anybody. If you could get over sticker for a motorcycle, go ahead. But I'm not going to be the person to pay for that. So far, so good, though. Matt, I don't know if he's okay with me saying, we'll only say his first name. The salesman over there at Woods, his name was Matt. I don't want to say his last name because I didn't ask if it was okay. But he took care of me, guys. Whenever I was at the first dealership, I told him what happened. I called him up, and he was very helpful. He told me, hey, he didn't think he had a motorcycle in stock, but he went and checked. They did have this one on the way. It had just gotten there, so they still had to put it together and all that. And he actually held it for me. I was supposed to pick it up on that Tuesday, I couldn't pick it up until the weekend, so he held it. I pretty much bought it on that Saturday. They were going to have it ready by Tuesday. I couldn't make it that whole week. We were just slammed with work and basically everything else in life. And we just could not, the anticipation was killing me. And we just could not go get it. But he held it for me. And Saturday morning, I texted on Friday. I said, hey, man, I'm going to be there first thing Saturday morning. He said, okay, cool. I show up. He has a motorcycle outside right by the front door with my tag on it. Already sold. Didn't have to wait for anything. He had everything in line. Paperwork was done. All we had to do is just literally sign. He already had the financing and everything squared away. He had ran all the credit and all that. And it ended up coming out to, oh wait, we did throw a helmet in there as well. I did pick up a new helmet. It was going to be $150 a month. Came out to $153 a month, including the helmet. Helmet was about $220, somewhere around there. So plus tax, so about $220 plus tax, somewhere around there. But other than that, I mean, the process in and out was very quick for the motorcycle. It actually took me longer to find a helmet that fit me right and all that than what it actually did to finish the paperwork, sign off, and everything on the motorcycle. So shout out to that guy for actually holding it for a week for me, because wow, that's good on him. I did not think they were going to be able to hold it that long, but he did, and we held our word and we picked it up. So far so good on this motorcycle. I do want to get some riding footage, so I don't know if we're going to mount the GoPro to my helmet or how we're going to do it. I'm thinking we might mount it on the top of the tank facing the gauges. That way you could see the RPMs versus the miles per hour. Now keep in mind, guys, we're still going very easy on this motorcycle, but it's got enough power, and I'm about 220. I weigh about 220 pounds. It's got enough power for me to where I could get to where I need to go. It doesn't feel underpowered, but you could definitely tell that, you know, it's running up there in the RPM. But I do run about 75 on the highway. Here in Texas, 75 is normal. 80, 85, some places are kind of normal. In Texas, we do run a little bit faster here than other places. So keep that in mind. That might be another reason why. But for my riding around town, 75 is usually where I try to stay. So the bike runs it all day, could care less, could you know, run all day, but still get 60 miles to the gallon. Has no effect on it. So far so good on this motorcycle. I really like it, guys. I don't know. I know we said we're only going to keep it for a year, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's very affordable. This is a great starter bike too. I know some people are going to say, get a 250. 250 is underpowered. 600. If you can afford a 600, and we'll get into some numbers why I got this. If you can afford a 600, go for it. But not only do you got to factor in the price of the motorcycle. So this is 5,400 sticker price. I think the 600s were about 9,000. So I mean, a couple $1,000 difference, not a big deal. But the reason we got this was we looked at the Harleys, we looked at Indians, and we tried to go cruisers, we tried to do all that. And I really wanted a sport bike. But the issue is, financing a sports bike, you have to have full coverage, insurance, and that's the killer, guys, at least for me. Full coverage for this one, $65 a month. Now, if you step up to 600, it was like $190 a month. And then if I stepped up to a 1,000, which I used to have, but only had liability on my 1,000 because I bought that one cash. If I step up to 1,000 with full coverage now, it was somewhere in the $240, $250 range a month just for insurance, which is, it's steep, guys. Not including the price of the motorcycle, that is steep. So that's definitely something you got to keep in mind when looking at these sport bikes. And I did so many quotes. It wouldn't surprise me if I quoted 10 different motorcycles, whether it be different size engines, different brands, different styles, just about everything. Believe it or not, though, the Harleys, kind of the cruisers and stuff, they were a lot cheaper, even though they had the bigger engine, like the Roadster. When I got the quote for the Roadster, I believe it was $50 a month, full coverage. And it had a 1200cc engine versus this 400cc at $65 a month. So that is something to keep in mind, guys. Not only the price of the motorcycle, but also the price of insurance, because right now I'm paying $153 a month for this, but if I had insurance of $200 a month, are you really going to pay more for insurance than you are on a motorcycle? I don't know. I don't think I would, especially just using a commuter. I'll just wait and we'll just buy 1,000 cash, or wait for my insurance rates to drop as well. That could be something. But so far so good on this 400. Absolutely love it. Let me see how we want to set up that GoPro, and let's get some riding footage for you guys to finish out this video. But so far so good on this. Highly recommend this motorcycle. Great starter, great mid-size motorcycle, perfect commuter, and the price, not only for the motorcycle but for insurance as well, it's very, very affordable. If you are going to get this as a first motorcycle, guys, I do recommend getting frame sliders or something to prevent any damage. If it's your first motorcycle, you will 90% of the time drop it at one point or another. 90% of riders are going to drop their first motorcycle, I believe. Whether it be at speed or something as simple as not putting your kickstand down all the way. That happened to me on my 1000 in the driveway. I just, early in the morning, I didn't put the kickstand down all the way, and she just literally laid over. So it is what it is. But other than that, I highly recommend this motorcycle. It's very, very good. And it's very modern too. My 1000 was a little bit older, but it's very modern. You know, it has everything that we can need. As far as gauges and stuff, it tells you what gear you're in. It's very user-friendly. And with it being ABS, most new riders would want an ABS model, just to prevent you or limit the chances of you locking up your tires. If you're an advanced rider, you might want to lock your tires up just to have a little fun, just to goof around a little bit. But so far, guys, very good motorcycle. So let's go ahead and get that GoPro set up and get you some riding footage.